In part 1, we discussed Kaycreigh's original video and broke it down. This is primarily going to be focused on the person who was quote-unquote exposed for, being the person in story 1 of Kaycreigh's story. And this person was accused of walking up to her and asking for a sub count, pushing her to drink at an Elgato party, and getting her blacklisted from the Pokemon community. So in Kaycreigh's video, she dropped little bits and pieces of information that could be used to piece this shit together. And of course, after telling such an emotionally gripping tale, the public rised up to try and bring someone to justice, but they got the wrong guy, and this guy is Duncan Can't Die, and he went to Twitter like any sane, rational person would do to voice their frustrations. So he starts by saying another round of terrible accusations in the Pokemon community. You should watch Kaycreigh's video on it because this shit is serious. On the same note, however, people have been saying I was a part of this. The idea that I would care about someone's sub count is ludicrous. So at this point, he goes on to state that, he's collabed people with 400 subs and 400k subs. And pretty much he's saying sub count doesn't mean shit for me. And he is claiming that the company in question, being Elgato, does not have a blacklist. And that, they don't do that type of shit. So he goes on to say, here's the facts. Being K's Elgato party was obtained using my name without my permission. Whoever the unnamed friend who quote-unquote got her to invite is, pretty much they're lying to her, and the pass was obtained through his relationship with Elgato without his knowledge. So when asked at the party who she was, he was pretty much just like, I don't know. And he said someone named Mo, which is the heathen Mo, brought her there, and he never knew about this apparently. And he said he heard the rumors about Kaycreigh, and the rumors pretty much boiled down to she was a promiscuous woman. But Duncan goes on to say, hey, I used to be a promiscuous dude, I don't judge. And after this, he says he did avoid Kaycreigh after the whole party incident, and he said he never reached out to her or tried to collab with her because, stuff like that. So he moves on to say, whoever it was that spooned her, pretty much should be quote-unquote canceled, and we don't need this in the community, and I absolutely agree. So he goes on to say, I try to deal with this privately in DMs. Unfortunately, I've had tons of people, including friends of 5+ years, messaging me, asking if I did any of this shit. I didn't, so here it is. I don't know who lied to Kay about me or why I assumed because they couldn't get her a pass to the next year's Elgato party, and apparently they needed a convenient lie and a bad guy to avoid revealing they didn't actually get her to invite the year my name was used. He doesn't know, he doesn't care, he doesn't want to be part of the drama, but unfortunately he was sucked into it. And by virtue, if you think about it, he's forced to be part of this unless he wants his name tarnished. But he said he had enough, the Pokemon community is toxic, and obviously. Anyways, he says, if one more person DMs me accusing me of Kaycreigh's shit, I'm gonna drop a video spilling the tea with names, dates, and receipts. He's pretty much saying I'm about to pop off. And, he pretty much just said here, he meant to tag Kaycreigh and all this, which would make sense. So let's jump into Kaycreigh's side. So after Duncan's meltdown, which I guess we'll call it, although I wouldn't really see it as a meltdown, more as a venting session. But pretty much he, after this, Kaycreigh pretty much says thank you for supporting the video, and she says this needs to be said. While I do appreciate people watching my video, I do not appreciate the people going against what I clearly stated in my video, or I try not to figure out who I was talking about. She doesn't want the narrative to say he said, she said, rather she said, and we listened. So she goes on to say, I will not be engaging with speculative comments because as soon as I start saying no, it's not this person, then it implicates every other person who I'm not naming, and that's how reputations get damaged, and that's literally one of the biggest points of my video. That is actually a very good point as to why she's not doing this. But I have my own opinions. We'll get to that later. Anyways, she says, nothing that some detail from the story, specific things that were said to others, came from people who I trust, but who weren't the individuals themselves. I will never drag anyone based on heresy, no matter how sure I am of the story. Okay, since this is getting completely off control, it needs to be addressed. Stop sending Duncan harassment. Stop messaging brands about him. By the way, Duncan did get a sponsor removed because of this shit. So she said, I did speak about him in my story, but those were details I heard from other people. I've never spoken to him about those stories because I've spent my time in this community being intimidated and afraid of the repercussions of trying to talk with people, afraid my interactions will be mocked in private. That being said, I specifically left names out because I would never want to cause harm. Too late for that. Anyways, she said she only sat down to film her video to speak about her experiences. And once again, that is fair. And she says she was careless when she includes her. Damn right you were careless. And she implied Duncan specifically. I genuinely did not intend for that. I'm going to get into that statement in a minute. So she pretty much says, you know, she never ghosted anyone's. My mentions and DMs have been flooded, and I've spent time away from the internet since dropping the video for my own health and well-being. I had no idea what was going on, which is completely understandable. Anyway, she says, I'm going to be removing those parts of the video. These, I don't know what parts were removed. So, yeah, I don't know what parts you removed. So she said, I wouldn't want to be the one in Duncan's position. And pretty much she says, you know, no control, like I was saying in the previous video. And she says, anyways, I hope that it's clear that my intentions were never to slander anyone, but also realize that my intentions and results are not the same. I will not be doing my best to get the DMs, but I'm going to need time. Also, please know that I addressed this as soon as I was made aware of it. I checked with Duncan to figure out a course of action and then acted. I just woke up for class and spent the entire time handling this. I thought Kaycreigh was an adult. What? Maybe, I don't know, she's in school. You know, that's not the point of this video. Anyway, she said, I would never knowingly let someone suffer. Also, just as clear, Duncan has stated that these stories are not true. While certain details were correct, the overall narrative and specific quotes I was given were not. And that part is on me. Oh, we're getting to that in a second. So pretty much Duncan pops off. He says, nah, you can publicly state that part was lies. Explain who lied to you, I agree with this, about me, and use my name. Or I'm happy to make a video naming everyone and clearing things up. With the receipts, they all know I was proving who everyone is. You effectively named me. Own it. I will find out the person who made up the lies, but for anyone wondering, here is Kay confirming I didn't do shit. Now leave me alone. And for those who are wondering, Duncan did make a video, but this man capped so fucking hard. If those were all the names, dates, and receipts, he overhyped that shit, cause the video was informative, but pretty much it was almost a synopsis of what he said on Twitter. But now we're getting to my heart thoughts. And I have a feeling a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, but I gotta say this. First and foremost, Kaycreigh is a fucking moron. And that sounds harsh, and that is not me invalidating what she said. But I remember her saying in her video that... I remember she made a post edit, and there is no damn way on earth that she made the video and just posted it as is. There's definitely had to be multiple retakes watching the video, and you're telling me during that process you didn't say, well, hey, I think I'm, you know, kind of showing this person out. No, I'm not gonna say, no, I'm not gonna tell people to go after them, and I guess I'll say that, and that will make me unresponsible. No, 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 no. No, you don't get to say don't go after these people, but still drop that information and act like, well, I said for this not to happen. Obviously this was not her intention, which is why I'm calling her a moron in this situation. How do you, like, if your intention was just to tell your side and not have this come back to anyone, why would you systematically drop information that could lead to someone getting accused? And literally, this could have been avoided. Literally, she just had to make the statements. Vic, instead of saying Elgato party, say party. Pokemon draftees, collab with YouTubers. Make it difficult for people to piece together the puzzle. But it was right there, and as Duncan said in his video, if you're in the community and you know the community, you're able to narrow down a list of suspects. And once again, in Duncan, he said something in his video, which I can understand, which is pretty much about her being blacklisted from the community and how he avoided her. And he, you know, pretty much, he said something like, Kaycreigh essentially said, you know, he didn't defend me. And Duncan clapped back with, I'm not her PR person, but if you want to pay me, I will. And, you know, that is completely understandable. Because, once again, it kind of seems like Duncan didn't care. Now, I know, or I've been told, that Duncan is not Mr. Sunshiny great person. There has been plenty of evidence allegedly in the past to prove he is a dick. I don't have it yet, but if I do, I probably will make a video on him. But that is not the point. What I'm pretty much saying here is, the thing that I'm mostly angered at is essentially Kaycreigh's stance to pretty much say, I don't want to hurt anyone, but clearly dropping the tools for someone to get hurt. And another thing I didn't like is that she only addressed this on Twitter. And once again, while I give her credit, I do respect the fact that she took the effort to take out parts of her video. I feel like she should have completely redone the video to essentially avoid this type of thing. And I think in her video she did kind of make clear that some things she was saying weren't completely confirmed. So once again, I think in this situation, once again, I'm trying to see if Duncan's at fault here, but there's no hard proof that he did anything bad. Maybe besides making a snappy remark. Kaycreigh here is clearly at fault for, you know, dropping pieces of evidence despite saying, you know, she doesn't want to hurt anyone, although she placed the tools to do so. And this is not invalidating anything she's saying. This is rather just a clear oversight on her part when creating this video. But I personally think the number one people who are at the fault here is the public. The Pokemon community, as we know, is toxic. And oh my gosh, I'm just sick of this idea of we have these vague strands of information from this one person who wasn't even outright named. Receipts weren't outright given. This was just all off word of mouth. Let's go cancel him. Why not? Let's go take away his sponsor. Why not? Like, what is wrong with the people doing this? Like, if you're gonna take away someone's income, if you're gonna go after some man's throat, slander him, rake his name through the mud, you better have your facts right. And I think everyone can at least agree on that. If you're gonna cancel someone, make sure you have dates, receipts, and clear, undisputable evidence in order to clearly show this man deserves to be quote-unquote canceled. So pretty much kind of just to wrap this up, as to why Kaycreigh included this information that could clearly piece someone together, I don't know. I'm gonna chalk it up to, you know, when making this video, emotions were probably high, and she probably wasn't able to think too clearly, and maybe she missed it. That's most likely what happened, but I don't know. I'm not Kaycreigh. On Duncan's side, if I was him, personally, I think his biggest falter was not going scorched earth on the heated mo and on everybody else who did him dirty. I would have dropped every goddamn name and receipt in the book to bury these damn people for slandering my name. I think that was without a doubt his biggest mistake, and I'm thoroughly disappointed that he did not do that. And I feel like they're gonna pull up that excuse, well, we didn't want to cause any drama. Fuck drama, bro. They're taking away your money, your status, and, you know, even he said his character, him as a person, more importantly, is being doubted and slandered. I would have fucking destroyed these people if I had the receipts. And for the public is stupid. The Pokemon community is absolutely toxic. And that's pretty much it. Are all three of these people squeaky clean, great, fantastic people? Hell no. Is there one clear winner? No. However, I will say we all should be glad that Kaycreigh, you know, made this video advocating for the message. Hopefully, you know, hopefully we will see, you know, if this ever happens again, God forbid, someone will look at Kaycreigh's video as a light of courage and be able to reach out. Once again, I like the message she went for in this video. She said we listened, although personally I think including those details overshadowed the whole thing. That's pretty much the video. I'm sorry if you did not disagree on my thoughts. If you want to have a civil, educated talk in the comments, I am more than welcome to that. That is pretty much the video. If you want me to discuss more things in the Pokemon community, let me know down below. that is pretty much it. Have a good day.